Welcome everyone. Today we are going plant shopping, so we're going to go and have a look around the garden centre first, and then I will show you what I bought at the end. So with it being November right now, there are a lot of poinsettias around, and they're not particularly my thing, but I did think these ones with the splashy variegation were interesting. It's kind of got creamy white splashes on them. I don't think I've seen those before. I remember seeing the plain red poinsettias, but yeah, I haven't seen that before. But yeah, I don't usually buy these, but they usually have a lot at this time of year. They got some pink ones there as well. Quite a nice pink colour. And yep, a gingerbread pot for Christmas. Kind of cute, that one. Yeah, those are some nice pink tones. Some ivy over here. You usually find ivy in most garden centres these days. Doesn't grow that well for me indoors. But yeah, really interesting splashiness there. And then they have a selection of Tradescantias here. We've got the Barrina, some Tradescantia and a nuke as well. Nice if you like a little bit of colour. And then we have a little row of Hoyas here. They seem to be having a bit of a sale on at the moment too. There's a lot of stuff reduced, so you can grab some Christmas bargains. And then over here we have some philodendron Brazils. Really nice plant this. I have 2 of these in my house. It grows so fast and it just makes a brilliant house plant. It's a lovely trailing plant, but also really nice climbing too. And then here they have a few baby philodendron Florida ghosts. Some of them looked a little bit wet to me, and there's the possibility of root rot. I think my intuition was telling me that there could be that possibility, but they do look nice. I like the minty variegation on them. Definitely got this one on my wish list. And then next to it we have some Epipremnum Enjoy. I really like this plant. I have one at home and it's a really pretty plant. Really easy to care for too. I could definitely recommend it. It's got really nice white kind of variegation on the edges. It grows lovely as well. And then just up above it you've got some standard Epipremnum Aureums, and these ones have some nice gold variegation on them. You get more of the gold if you give these more light, so yeah, if you want yours to be extra gold, give it a little bit more light. And then we've got lots of string of hearts here. Really nice plant. I know a lot of you guys are into this one too. Makes a pretty shelf plant for sure. And it's very sensible for them to keep them in the cellophane whilst they're in the shop like this, because if you've ever had one of these, you'll know that once it starts trailing, it gets really tangled up. And then this is the ficus section, I think. We've got some Ficus elastica robustas there. Really easy and hardy plant, that one. We've got a few different types of ficus nestled here. This one here looks like a fiddly fig, just a small one. There's a couple of types of this plant. I think there's one that grows really big, and then there's a bambino version that stays small. So not sure which one this is, but I've always been a bit scared to have one of these because of people saying how difficult they are, but also I'm not that keen on it. But I know a lot of people are, and that's fine, each to their own. Yeah, this one is a 12cm pot and looks like it's been reduced to £6.50 which is a good deal if you fancied having a go with this plant. Even if it did end up being a little bit difficult, you could still have a go for that price. But yeah, I just don't think it's my type of plant. It looks like it belongs in a cabbage patch to me, but that's just my personal opinion. And then we've got a Scindapsus here growing up a pole. And next to it, some more philodendron basils, only this time they're growing upwards. And again, this plant is just excellent, whether you want to grow it as a trading plant or as a climbing plant like this. It's really nice. It's just a really easy, low maintenance plant. I think they have some of the plain green ones behind as well, just the standard philodendron scandens. And those are just as easy, of course, as well. Really hardy as well. Got a few bird of paradise plants nestled in there. Watch out because they do get very big eventually. These plants are all kind of vying for the window there, so you can get the best light. A few different ones nestled in here. We have a lot of bird of paradise. Over here you can see there's a few interesting dracaenas poking out. Some crotons there. I have to tell my husband every time we go shopping, no, we're not getting crotons. They're bad news. I just can't grow them. But if you can, then brilliant. I'm happy for you, but they're just not for me. Those dracaenas look nice though, and there's a few other plants nestled in here. See some anthuriums. We've got an interesting succulent here. It kind of has black leaves, which is quite nice. They're quite shiny as well. There's a little look at the label if anyone's interested. And yeah, that's quite cute actually. I don't think it would like growing indoors with me though. It looks like it's one of those succulents that needs a very high light to survive, but it's quite interesting. A few different ones nestled in here. Some more dracaenas, a few anthuriums, the standard kind of flamingo ones nestled back there. Lots of epipremnums in between. We've got the Aphelandra squarosa. This is a plant that's not for the faint of heart. It does require quite a bit of care. And then we've got some interesting calatheas next door. I always say a prayer for anyone I see picking up calatheas in garden centres. You can kind of tell when it's someone who it's their first time. And I just say to myself, I really hope it goes well for you. But yeah, I did the same thing when I was a beginner. I took a calathea home and yeah, you can imagine how it went. But Aphelandra squarosa is also a little bit of a tricky plant, but I managed to keep mine alive for a while, but then eventually it perished. We've got a few little arrangements there at the back. I think some Photonia type arrangements. Maybe some others there as well. Got a few nice Ficus benjaminas here. Different types of variegation. These ones have got the yellow variegation on. And Calathea orbifolia there. Really tempted to try a Calathea orbifolia, I have to say. I may do at some point. We have some of these lovely anthuriums here with the, not anthuriums, are they anthuriums or are they peace lilies? I'm not sure. We've got some phlebodiums back there. And yeah, they are anthuriums. And then nestled down here, we have a few little plants. What's this one here? Cute little one there. It's got kind of green glossy leaves. Quite nice. Next to it, we've got a few spider plants. We've got some actually pretty healthy looking spider plants today. I'm not very good with spider plants, and to be honest, I'm not that keen on them anymore. I have tried them in the past, but I just don't feel like they are for me anymore. But I do sometimes like to admire them from afar. And there's a bit of a cheeky monstera poking through there. You'll always find a good Monstera deliciosa at most garden centres. It's the classic, isn't it? Lots of those ferns there. They have a really nice kind of bluey tone to them. And then here we have lots of different plants, but we've got this pinstripe calathea really taking the limelight here. It is beautiful with the pink. But again, I don't tend to bring too many calatheas in. Now and again I have a little go, but it is a nice plant. And then here's a little plant that I don't remember seeing before, but it has a kind of interesting look to it. It kind of looks like a tiny tree. And then over here we have, I think that's a bit of a different back here and there, some baby ones. I think this is their baby plant section. They've got kind of smaller ones here. And you can kind of choose. There's these tiny little palms as well. We've got a Monstera adansonii there. I actually bought my Monstera adansonii from this garden centre a long time ago now. And what have we got here? A Ficus benjamina. This looks like the standard kind of green version. I do have one of those as well. It's a really good plant to have at home. Far less finicky than a lot of people make it out to be, I have to say. And then we've got some, not ferns, palms there, and a few ferns down here as well. We've got the crocodile fern, a little bit tricky, but you know, if you fancy giving it a go, there's no harm in trying. I tend to avoid ferns now, just because I tend to have good luck with them for maybe a week or two, maybe a month even, or longer, and then eventually if you so much as don't water them in time once, they'll just turn to crisp. So that's usually what happens for me with ferns, so I don't tend to buy them just because it's a waste of money. But they are cool plants, and a lot of people like putting them in their bathrooms because they do like moisture. And then over here we've got these calatheas again. They've always got a good selection of calatheas in here, all sorts of different ones. I can see why people are so attracted to calatheas, but I think a lot of the time they buy them and then they perish. And then they've got here some really cute Ficus chiverianas, and this is a plant I've had on my wish list for a while. And what do you know, here we have some little baby ones. And they are reduced as well. I just love the variegation on this plant. I just hope that it's easy compared to some of the others. Most rubber plants are, but I find the Ficus teneki is not. And then we have a few little snake plants here, I guess Sansieverias, and some aloes. Not sure I like the weave together look, but pretty orchids flowers there. They are nice. A few aloe veras just sitting there. You normally find aloe veras, and also you've got these tiny little baby rubber plants too. You'll find a lot of these around, but at this size they do take quite a long time to kind of start growing and taking off, so you're probably better off looking for a slightly larger specimen, I would say, personally.
So the first thing we got is this little pot. My husband actually picked this up because it has cute gingerbread men on it, and yeah, he wanted to get that, so we put a holiday cactus in it, and I think it's either the Thanksgiving one or the Christmas one, I'm not sure, but it's the one with white flowers. So yeah, they are about to bloom, so I'm quite excited to see those come out. But yeah, a little Christmassy thing. I don't really decorate with Christmas things around this time of year, but I decided to allow one little Christmassy thing, which is this one. And then the other thing I found, which I was really excited to find, was this little Ficus scheveriana. And not only is this one really cute, but it's also got this really nice pot that I liked as well. And I've been looking for one of these for a while, but it's really difficult to get one of these in a large size. I've been keeping my eye out for quite some time now for one of these, at least a year, maybe more, and I've only ever seen really small ones like this. So I decided to just go ahead and buy it because it seems like all the stockists seem to have only the small ones. So yeah, I decided to just go ahead and get it. And yeah, it'd probably take a couple of years or so to take off and start growing properly, but that's okay. But yeah, I just really wanted to get one of these because it's been on my wish list for a while. So I thought it was quite nice to find one, and it seems to have some quite nice variegation. I'm just doing another pest check. It's worth just checking and checking again when you buy a new plant. I also need to go over this with bug soap at some point and just give the leaves a nice clean. I always do that with new plants. This one reminds me a little bit of a plant called Aglaonemas apple fantasy, and obviously it's a different type of plant, but it always reminds me of this one. But yeah, I decided to get one of these. I've just always loved the variegation on this, and my plan with this one is to put it in my pot that I have full of rubber plants already, and eventually I will have like a big pot full of lots of different rubber plants. So that's the plan, and well, once this is grown up a bit, I'll wait until it's got kind of maybe 3 times the size of this before I put it in there, because you know, when it's small it might be a little bit different in its needs. But my plan is to eventually have like one big pot with loads of different types of rubber plant in it. So yeah, this one is destined for that pot eventually, but for now it's in this cute little pot, and I just love this colour. This is one of my favourite colours, so yeah, I had to buy this one. Oh, and did I mention it's also reduced to £10? It was reduced, so I thought that was a really good deal for this one, because I remember when these used to be really, really expensive, even for a tiny one like this. It was really expensive, but yeah, happy to have that one in my collection, and I'm hoping that it grows well for me. Then the next one is one my husband chose again. This pot actually was given to me by my mum-in-law. It's really cute, isn't it? But I thought this plant that my husband bought went really well. I'll take it out of there so I can show you, because I can't remember what it's called, because I've never actually seen this plant before. It's called Dizzy Gothica Elegant Green. And it's, yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that one before, but it kind of looks like a tiny tree, and yeah, it's kind of cute. It's got kind of a black stem, trunk, whatever you want to call it. It looks like a mini trunk to me. So that's kind of different. I've never seen that one before. So yeah, I will have to look this up to see kind of what it is and what its care needs are. I haven't had a chance to do so yet, but even so, I thought it was an interesting plant. So yes, very delicate little plant, that one. You can see it's got a new leaf at the top there, just a tiny little adorable new one. So we'll see what happens with that one as it grows, but as I say, I don't know what it is or anything like that, but I think it's cute and I like it in this pot. So yeah, that's where it's going to live for now until it outgrows it. Then another plant I found is another plant that I've been looking for a while. This wasn't actually out on the shelves. I found it on one of their pallets that they were just putting out. So it wasn't actually out yet. So I just cheekily kind of raided their pallets that they were putting out. But I mean, look at those roots it has under there. But anyway, this is the Aglaonemas pictum tricolour. And I know this is kind of one of those plants that a lot of people have been into, but I just really like it because I like it, and it's not actually that expensive over here in the UK. I've seen that some countries this one can go quite expensive for some reason. I guess it just varies by country to country. This one was $16.99, and yeah, as I say, I raided their trolley thing, their pallet, to get this because they hadn't actually put them out yet, but I saw it there and I thought that is an Aglaonemas pictum tricolour. So yeah, I picked this one out, and if you look at the back there, you can see how it grows. It's quite interesting how the growth pattern of it, but it's kind of interesting how nature has grown that sort of camo pattern on a plant. I find that fascinating, and yeah, like I say, I've had my eye out for one of these for a while, so finally found one. It's really pretty and I'm very much looking forward to growing it. Aglaonemas are plants that you kind of need to view from above because they tend to just look like that from the side, so you do have to find their best angle, you know, to show them off. But I thought the variegation on that was just so cool, and yeah, this is one of those plants I think that looks far more interesting in real life compared to when you see them online, and you see lots of things you wouldn't normally see in real life. And this is quite a nice full specimen too, because sometimes you'll get the kind of scraggly ones with just a couple of leaves, but I think this is quite a nice full plant. So I'm really looking forward to growing this one, I have to say, seeing how it will grow. Yeah, stay tuned if you would like to see how this one grows over time. And then the next plant, it didn't actually come from this garden centre. I actually went to another one afterwards, went for a quick look in Dobby's. Didn't do any filming in there, but I found this plant, which, if I can get it here, I found this to be really interesting because this one also has a camo appearance, and at first I thought it was the Aglaonemas pictum tricolour again, but it's actually a Hoya camouflage. And so it's a completely different plant, but it also has the camouflage variegation on it. And I just thought that was really cool and fun. So I wanted to get it and do a comparison. So if I hold them side by side, you can see there is actually a difference, even though they both have a similar thing going on. You can see that there are actually differences, and obviously at the moment this one's smaller, so this one's got bigger leaves, but I just found that really curious that there are two different types of plants with camouflage variegation on them. And yeah, just found that really interesting. So back to this one, let it have its moment here. The Hoya. Now, I think these have just been put out in Dobby's because I usually find that Hoya have a lot of pests on them in Dobby's. So I am going to have to give this one a good clean. I don't know why, they just seem to attract pests, particularly thrips, so I will have to be very careful. But I thought it was worth it because I think it had just been put out and it looked okay to me, so I don't see any damage. So yeah, I've just got to be extra careful, but I was really pleased to find that one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see this one grow and the other one grow and just see what the similarities and what the differences are between them. And then at the first garden centre I also bought two of these seagrass planters. I really like these because they're just a lot lighter, so if you've got a plant that isn't too heavy, they're really good for those kinds of plants. And I just think they give a nice kind of chilled out vibe, so I got a couple of those. Yeah, and that's all I got. So I really hope you enjoyed coming plant shopping with me today. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you would have bought, if there was anything you would have bought differently. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.